place to hide? Will you free my mind? Following the lights of a world that's blind. In your eyes I see there's a place for all I seek to find is a world that's mine. Need a place to hide. Will you free my mind? Following the lights of a world that's blind. In your eyes I see there's a place for me.
more towards mid, but we're seeing some typical picks here. I love Rezkin on the Omen. He's very good at that. Delete on the Sova we see very often as well. I love seeing this KJ mirror here. That's going to be fun. They really give you the ability to change kind of change up how you want to stagger your people, how you want to spread them out, because the KJ can really watch a site all by themselves.
Yeah, the coaches have been making sure that the Barracudas find good compositions and work for this team, and that they can execute well.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you're working good in composition and not just working entirely off of comfort picks, especially at this level. They're getting up to a higher level of play where it's necessary to work with each other. You cannot go it alone.
Well, we see Prestige, familiar member. He's on the Barracudas. That means Barracudas are going to be defending first, the blue team. Vipers are going to be on the right, attacking first. Overall, not too much too different about this. The only difference we have is kind of 2 initiators on the side. Well, actually, yeah, just one initiator choice. It's the Sky versus the KO. But that's really the only difference. Other than that, it's pretty mirrored.
And even then, the Sky and the KO, I think, are very similar in their play style, being a very, very aggressive initiator. So I think we are going to be looking at really similar play style from either teams, just based off what this comp is telling us. So we might even see, you know, a really high point round for one team on the attack side, and then after the switch, seeing it come back to a really high point round in the other attacking favor. So we might see a big turnaround with a comp like this.
We're just going to have to see how it turns out. I really necessarily wouldn't count it one way or the other. Normally, sometimes when comps are brought out, you can kind of tell which team might be more comfortable or attacking or defending. But both these teams seem pretty even in that regard. The thing is, for the Vipers, that we're going to have to keep in mind is that they struggle to keep high energy levels if the match doesn't go their way. So that might be one thing to kind of look out for going forward here is, you know, if we maybe see the Barracudas start to run away with a 5-round lead or something like that, then we'll know that the Vipers are definitely in a situation that they've been practicing on getting better in.
Yeah, we're working in an environment where snowballing is a very viable tactic and where momentum is an important key to the game.
As we're just waiting to load into the map here. You can never underestimate the Riot Zeros, even if the timer isn't on the screen. It's just something that you can't take for granted too much here. They're ready to head in to the map here. Yep, and there we go. All right. Like I said before, that is going to be Barracudas on the left, Vipers on the right. Seeing some very similar names here as Kinetic and Prestige. Some of the top playmakers in the league overall. We're just going to be ready to head into here and see how things turn out. Overall, in terms of buys, we just see some, looks like a lot of classics on the field. Just only a couple of people going for the ghosts, it looks like, actually. They're going all for abilities.
Yeah, our Barracuda side actually has I believe that was a Sheriff and a Frenzy, so they're kind of branching out a little bit in that, so a little less utility there, maybe even 2 Frenzies. We're starting to see that entry utility come right out into the center, and I like the Vipers here trying to branch both in the center and go up one of the sides, so they're watching this garage just in case they get kind of a greedy push from the defensive side, but it's not going to happen. They've already made some. Hidden is pulling all that dash. He making his way up through the center. The rotation is out and on its way, and the Wolf is already down. Gets a successful concuss. It's kind of coming to a head here, but no one has fallen except that Omen.
Oh, Delete. Living up to his name. Already getting rid of 2 and is going to make him drop the spike as well. He is going to get him back with a shock dart. Don't tell him it was nerfed in its damage. He's still making it work out.
It's impressive to get a kill like that. You have to know that they're really low to begin with, though, because that was right off his side. Delete was trying to walk out of that nerf dart. Kinetic now, the last bastion to take out these 3 people here.
Last player standing.
I like the attempt at kind of the Ferrari peak there, but didn't quite work out. Now it's just 1-to-1, and Arctic, excuse me, despite facing the disadvantage in health, managed to win that. Now the Vipers, now this is definitely what they were after. They're going to be getting the first win. They don't necessarily have to worry about the steamroll quite yet.
That's good, that's good. In fact, the steamroll might be in their favor as they're looking to get a second round and bonus this up.
We head into the next buy phase. Barracudas, no doubt, probably not going to be doing full buys
cool.
here. Just going to stick
That's
with
how
the
you
classics,
survive.
get ready for their full buys in round 3. Meanwhile, the Vipers, we see Arctic here, bought a Spectre. Sets up and is immediately, not able to take out the dart before it gets a ping on him.
They may have been trying to get a small ping on that to try to bait out at least someone staying on the B side while the whole entire other team pushes to A. It looks like Arctic is expecting some serious aggression, but it's going to be on the wrong side of the map. It's Kinetic coming full force in with the shotgun on the hit, and that's a big point, taking out that first player right there, that main duelist, right off the bat. Prestige pushes back at just the wrong time. Back. Ooh! That's a swing around, but Arctic takes him through the center. Now they own a lot more territory.
Kind of had his attention divided here. Meanwhile, we see Kinetic already successful on one pick here. But it is not going to take that aggressive an angle. Instead, they're going to move back to Garden. We actually see the rotation come out from the Vipers. Looks like they're going to go over to B. They realize with all those long-range weapons, they can have a bit more advantage on these long sidelines in mid.
True, yeah, we saw a lot of shotgun picks for the Barracuda side there. So good to make that that accommodation on the Viper side. We're going to push Reskin back.
Meanwhile, Delete has just been hanging over B all this time.
Yeah.
Line is going to go under a lot of members of the Vipers, but it's not going to get in their way. He is going to mow down Reskin. Delete find himself in an awkward situation there. He's able to get a couple of dinks, but he's down to 16. And the grenade planted at the right time is going to keep the Barracudas at bay while the Vipers play. And around the corner, more shots exchanged back and forth. But the Vipers still having the overall advantage in manpower. They're going to take out the Barracudas again and go 2-0.
That was close there, but Barracuda's made some good moves there with Kinetic and Kills, kind of going aggressive and baiting out a one-and-one, but not being able to retreat quick enough and just letting that one-and-one be the end of it is where the Vipers kind of came ahead a little bit.
All right, normal guns and full purchase for everybody, as is standard as we head into round 3. And this is really where things can turn around here, Barracudas and Vipers. Normally, so we've seen a lot of times the first 2 rounds go one way, and then the rest of the game, it's a completely different story. So this is where the Barracudas want to stabilize.
Barracuda's looking very stable. They've got a good setup on B here. Just walking side to side, no forward aggression, which I like to see. The Vipers are trying to bait it out as well. There does get a flash for information, but Sky's not playing off of it too aggressively. He's going to use that owl to come right back. Just in case there's more of a push, they put out a little bit more utility, but they're keeping him at bay. Looks like Viper's forces are starting to work together here. Moving right down to the center. They got Reskin. Not quite going to make anything more than a little peek. Delete got his back, though, and in an interesting bait and switch, they may be able to get somebody out. There's a lot of people just hanging out in mid here waiting for the smoke to go down, but the timer's ticking. 55 seconds is enough to work with, but only if they can be decisive when it gets down.
Standing ahead.
Gonna throw out the dart right into the corner behind the tree there in Garden. Still not gonna pick up anybody. Instead, they're gonna have to rely on the gunfire of Prestige to let them know someone's there. They're gonna get blinded by the Hawk, keeping them at bay for a little bit, but Prestige can't necessarily aim through that smoke. That gives them enough time to go over to Generator. I don't know if he realizes Tracker was behind him, but Kinetic had his back, taking out Tracker and Be Spicy.
Well done with Kinetic for Prestige.
Last player standing.
He's just not quite far
Spike
enough
down
under, so
A.
Reskin finds him. But that's not all. Barracudas still have quite a few people to take out Arctic. A little bit slow on the click there, and Kills takes Arctic, winning them their first point for the Barracudas.
Yeah, near flawless for them. 4-1, put a dent in the Vipers' econ, meaning that Vipers are probably going to have enough to buy one more time, but are going to be looking at an eco round, a save round, if they don't win this.
So they're definitely going to want to force this and be strong. Looks like they know that, and they're stacking everyone on B. This could be a rough gambit if Sova decides to lean middle in case they want to run A again. So could be a bad read on the Barracuda side. Hopefully Vipers can push this hard.
Watch this!
We move on here. Throw out a little bit of a blind there. Already has brought out the knives. Kinetic here is just waiting.
Interesting. I definitely expected Vipers to be pushing on a lot stronger here.
Kinetic is repositioning here. Going to try to go through mid-market here. He already picks up Arctic with one. Now Barracuda's got what they were looking for. And Good thing he didn't have to use the right click to use that. That's going to reload his knives as well. He almost getting into an engagement with the lead. Caught in the middle of his bow, evening it up to 4-4.
That was excellent play. Just good timing by
Revealing area.
Going to reply with his own because he knows Rez can usually like to post up there for a little bait and switch action. Does get it back there, but it's not going to give him any information hidden. Just trying to keep the garden at bay. Let's people move in, including V Spicy. Be careful with this angle. Moves right onto site. We do have an ult out.
30 seconds left.
I do like using it as an offensive ult. It makes all of the utility to kind of push back that aggression from the offensive side a lot more difficult to employ.
Goes the Hawk around, not going to pick up anyone there.
Here.
Bit of an awkward position. They can kind of pinch the Vipers in from both sides here. That's what they're going to do. A risky jump down into Generator. Prestige comes in and does a bit of cleanup there and is able to find it.
Wow, I'm surprised right after that blind, too, that they didn't just get both of them in a row. Held down nice and quick. Barracuda's now taking their second point. 2-2. That does mean the Vipers are very low on economy that we talked about that.
Yep, it's going to definitely have to be an eco round for them. Which, as we saw when the Vipers were leading a little while ago, can be a little bit more punishing here on Ascent, because especially with that mid, I mean, when the other team has those long-range weapons, you're giving up so much of the map that you can control.
It is 5th round, and Barracudas did take 2 rounds in a row, so they're getting a little bit closer to op territory. Like they went with typical rifles plus an Odin. Hopefully something cheeky happens there. It looks like it might be happening here. If they're a little bit too loud, this Odin will go right through the wall and take out 1 or 2 people. Here it is.
Oh
Nicely
my
done.
goodness!
Hopefully he catches one or 2. They're all dodging right around it. It was just not quite there. They're not taking advantage of it.
I mean, he
One or two
still
shots
is.
back.
Still is getting a little bit of damage there, but nothing more than just some chip damage there. Here's the ultimate orb. This is probably the most bullets I've seen fired.
He's gonna run right out.
But while they were so distracted by that Odin, the rest of the Barracudas just went through mid and pinched the Vipers in, and that looks like it's probably going to be a flawless for them.
Yes.
Indeed it is.
A beautiful 5-man pinch rotate onto a lackadaisical attack in the face of an Odin. Expertly done by Barracudas. Their good response to a strange scenario.
Remember, we said this was best of 3. Barracudas won game 1 last time, so on the scoreboard we can get a tick up there for the Barracudas. If we can, just let everyone know that this is indeed match point for them. And yeah, this is, I still don't know. I would have just assumed, just in the random spray, that a few more would have gone toward the Barracudas, but not the case there.
And with our silhouette lineup, it definitely looked better. It looks to go nice and aggressive. He's going to cloud burst straight forward. Oh my goodness, comes right into it, but deletes him, just mows from left to right. He is going to be taken down by Tracker, but a one-on-one that deep into the site.
It's
and
been
the rotate comes out.
Stealing sight.
It's been kind of a while since I've seen the Odin used, and I'm all for it.
If you're going to put it somewhere, the Sova Odin right there's a good place to put it, and that is spiked down right in
One
center.
enemy remaining.
Now all of the offensive side that is 5 minutes there is kind of awkward, and there's a go. Prestige taking V Spicy when he was too deep in the site without the spike.
I mean, what did I tell you? You know, the 2 pistol rounds are just almost an entirely different game from the rest of it. Yeah. Once those Vandals and Phantoms come out, and I think I actually saw an AWP be brought out there by the Barracudas. So now it's time for things to... Now the rubber's really going to hit the road, so to speak.
Definitely in the budget after they won 4 rounds in a row, which we were talking about the importance of momentum, especially in the face of the Vipers here earlier, which is what we're having right now, and I think that's why that timeout is coming. I'm sure Coach Halter is really trying to hype them up and let them know what, you know, to stay focused and not let these 4 rounds determine the next 14.
Yeah, and we said at the beginning, this is exactly where the Vipers have struggled. If a winning streak starts to happen against them, they can struggle in recovering. So we'll see if the Barracudas can't close this out in this first semifinal. Actually, it's the second. Remember, the first happened in the first half of this Rumble, and we're deciding to see who is going to join the Ghosts in the finals. Barracudas have been working. Also, one thing you're going to want to keep in mind on the Barracudas is that team peeking and not solo peeking angles. So they've done pretty well with that right now. And speaking of peeking angles, the Vipers are the ones who are going to have to be a little bit nervous in peeking those angles now that Kinetic has his op.
Definitely so. We have kind of a cheap reply with that Marshall trying to just make some kind of even ground here in mid.
Yeah, another half buy for the Vipers here. Not going to look good for them as the knife line up already. It's going to be a bit while before that goes through, but there it is.
Good timing.
And got them.
You should run.
And Kinetic already putting that op to use. Despite the Vipers trying to clear some space out with that Killjoy, we see the attempted wallbang there onto the KJ. Not going to find it.
Whoa.
Oh, has to barrel. That is nerves of steel right there.
And to take it, then run right into your partner.
Spike planted.
I mean, he knew the timing. He had the dash, and because he's gotten two, that's going to recharge the dash. So on this op, it's just a force to be reckoned with. Hasn't charged it up yet. Meanwhile, some gunfire being exchanged on ground level on A, and there goes the other Killjoy, going to try to clear the Vipers out. They aren't going to be able to go into that base.
Whoa! Wow!
Whoa!
Quick switch on it. Takes another one.
Oh my goodness!
Fire.
Can he hit the ace?
Kinetic doesn't know they're behind him, but he doesn't need it.
Oh.
Delete Zip has got his back.
Well, you know, I'm not gonna complain too much about that. They're just deciding who needs the ultimate point the most.
Flawless.
Gonna give it over to the Omen. He gets his ultimate available, which allows for some sneaky plays.
What a tear by Kinetic.
Wow, some gunfire. Yeah, Kinetic was. I was so surprised here just a little bit earlier when he was facing the other team's Killjoy. And that was just a no-scope there.
Yeah.
That was okay. We gotta. I gotta say, Kinetic had a lot of skill there, but it also helps when the completely unpredictable no-scope spray of the op works out in your favor.
You kind of have to bury the muzzle for that to happen.
I know. It's just he knew he had to left click and hope for the best, and hey, luck favors the prepared, I suppose. So now we see two ops be brought out,
Yeah,
so the Vipers have gone all in on trying to get this back.
A dangerous game here, and you're definitely going to need several angle focusing on Kinetic here, standing in this power position with the op. It looks like that's exactly what they have, is E's going to be staring down the catwalk. It's not enough, though, and Kinetic takes Arctic. A rough position to be in now. The people in B Garage are not going to be wanting to walk back through that area. They're kind of pinched there, and they have half their team in A without the spike. It's not looking fantastic, especially considering all the power Killjoy has utility-wise on this site. So they decided to throw in a little bit of bait utility, back right out. And try to regroup with their team. They've got to go the long way because they don't know whether or not Kinetic is still watching that mid, and they already had someone go up against and lose. So they've regrouped here on A. That's enough time for Barracudas to know that that utility thrown on the B was just a bait. They've come back down, spread back out. It's kind of the start of a new round, but they're at a disadvantage.
Kinetic is going to take that high vantage point again. Remember, he just needs one more to recharge that dash and likely open himself up for another tear. They're going to throw the smoke down. They also throw the abilities away, which means Kinetic, it's going to demand Kinetic be extra accurate, and he can live up to the challenge. It's going to pick up two before he is taken out. The Barracudas still have the advantage. I don't think anyone's going to be there to revive that KO. The spike is dropped, and Hidden is just running for cover. Manages to get Prestige. He's just going to, play it safe, keep his op.
Yep, does take a beautiful outro.
Does look like Klid's moved in there to pick up Kinetic's op as well, so neither team is going to lose it for this round. Still, now a 4-round lead for the Barracudas, just cruising onward.
Yep, with an underutilized ult economy there. I could definitely see them pulling just a nice, easy Sova Hunter's Fury on the spike in a default position, you know, leaving one side open,
Let's fly.
over covering the other site, and letting them go for a plant. Doesn't look like they're thinking about that, though. Ooh,
you just don't peek the op when Kinetic has it.
You just can't ego peek the op. That's an old Doc's key to the game.
Yeah, and he
Spike
shows
down
he
mid.
can be on the op too.
Definitely does. A good reply. Be spicy, hoping for this defender aggression from Barracudas. It's not going to happen though.
I have the spike.
Silva is nice and steady here. Might start making his way in. He's got to be careful. There's a lot of utility back in here. And Delete Simp is ready for a beautiful bait and switch setup.
And looks like they're going to be walking into it, but they managed to take him out.
Nice and quick. You've got to pre-angle that. Pre-aim that angle to make it with a Sheriff.
Gonna throw out the drone. They've made the decision to move on in here. Blitz his way. He's taken out right in the smoke.
Spike
Kinetic trying to
down,
come to
B.
the rescue with
Last
some
player
knives.
standing.
Is able to take out E. Makes him drop the spike, and now all of a sudden Tracker's in a really difficult position here up in mid-market. They're just going to keep an eye on that spike and not even allow him.
30
He's
seconds
got to
left.
go out and get it.
Yeah,
Oh,
still
and he's going to
around,
go
but
for the lawn flank here. I like
Redskin's
it.
been watching it. Redskin's been multitasking these angles. Decides to smoke it off and focus on that spike because we brought down to only 20 seconds left. They get new angles on it, and Kinetic is a force to be reckoned with those knives.
One
Sees
enemy
Cloud
remaining.
Burst comes down and
what?
goes for the wall
How
break.
do you know?
What pacing? Excellent
10
call. Now
seconds
Tracker's
left.
only got one opponent, but he doesn't know where they are, and Redskin takes advantage on him.
Yep,
That's a 7th point for Barracudas.
He had some angles to choose from there, and he just chose the wrong one to peek. But that was some next level
Oh, yeah.
prediction there. Just kind of read where the smoke was thrown out
Yep.
from.
You have to understand, though, when you take a kill like that in a 2v1, you've given up your position, and you don't know where the last one is. And with only 15 seconds on the clock, if I were, I believe, Redskin there, I wouldn't have peeked. I would have hung back and just let the timer take it. But Redskin decides to make the gamble on it and takes the kill because he's got the upper hand in information.
Right now, they've set the spike down
Shadows traveling.
near A short. Gonna throw down a smoke there, and Kinetic. Already, you know, Kinetic is just not letting the Vipers start out with a fair fight at all. Every single round, he's been getting one pick. Hidden does even it up, though, taking out Kinetic again.
Going out.
Yep. And that's an interesting situation because the Barracudas really need that front man, and they've just lost another one. Finally, the Hunter's Fury coming out, and Redskin's here to protect him. Just kind of throwing it into default positions, but not the default where Arctic is currently planted. They're going to have to take care of this door and get in. Now E knows he's ready for it. Ooh, it's the timing right.
Oh.
Can he take care of this?
Blinding.
Oh. Oh, finally takes him. Just barely.
Last player standing. One enemy
Finding
remaining.
his two.
Okay.
One of them being on the E as a reply to his kill on the kills. Now there's only one each left. They know where each other are.
Oh!
Ooh. Very rough.
Game of cat and mouse there, and the mouse won in that circumstance.
Sure was. And I love how he just starts pacing. He's going to go top down and left to right and just milk him right out of the underneath.
And I love the discipline there also on the owl drone there, is that because that owl drone was facing the wrong way, there was an opportunity here. If he had fired down that drone there, if Arctic had just auto-shot at that drone, it would have given away his position. So he realized, no, if he doesn't turn around.
True.
Looks like we actually have a bit of a tech pause there. So Barracudas look like they're on their way to getting to the grand final here.
It does, yeah. They're definitely on their way, and they already have 1 point, don't they? So this is all they need to close it out. And I believe we're looking at a 7-3 or 7-2 it was.
Yeah, 7-3, 7-2, 7-3, I believe,
That's
actually.
A rough position
Yep.
to be in for the Vipers, because the Vipers have already taken one timeout and are looking at just 1 point gained since those first 2 rounds, which we've discussed are a little bit more different. They're different in energy.
Dart is quickly taken out. Kinetic has the off back.
Yeah, quite a bit of information right off the bat there. A good time to use this ult.
A fine
He's
death.
gonna find Delete Simp from quite a distance, but speaking of distance shots, Kinetic takes Tracker with the op. Now it's down to 4v4.
Uh-oh.
But look at this absolute spearhead. They're making their way right to the back. They take Redskin from his usual spot. He wasn't ready for them to be that far in. They do get a couple of hits off, though, and without any healing, one of their players is left at 10 health. They're going to make it around and go into the back of A. It's not something they were expecting, and now Kinetic has got to go the long way around.
Picks up the ult orb just in time.
The Vipers have a great hold on the A site here.
Spike
Guild's
planted.
considering moving in, but they're the only one. Do you wait for backup, or do you push in now to try to get some extra information, try to get some hits off onto people that maybe aren't ready? It's a decision. He decides to play slow. He's got lots of time, and he knows it. Try to keep out when they're not expecting, but they take a couple hits and they flash him down. So Guild's looking just a little bit of fire onto. He's got to wait for his two people to come in to help him. Arctic takes out
player
Guild.
standing.
Tries to go flying in after, but Arctic takes again.
Ooh, and Kinetic, this is risky to do here. Yeah, I would think Kinetic just tries to save here.
Yeah.
But I don't think if he's going to be able to get away. They're in hot pursuit here. This is to save an op. Okay, does look like he's going to manage to get away there, but and Arctic actually
Arctic
gets
can.
caught in the blast.
Last round in the half.
Well, it's to save the op for just one more round, but it's a save nonetheless, I suppose.
Yeah, it's true. Hopefully he can get lots of value this round.
Meanwhile, the Vipers, talking about value, they've saved up all their ultimates till this last round. They got to use them this round, basically.
I do love a good last round ultimate dump. Hopefully we can see something real impressive here. This might be a nice strong push from the Vipers. Sure enough, these knives are coming right out. Oh, there we go. I was expecting that KO was a nice push in to prevent any kind of defensive utility coming out. Really Kinetic has got to back off and wait from this. He's really just trying to secure this last point, and look, even a teleport just for fun, just to get deeper into the site.
Now with these smokes here, it's going to be extra hard. Oh, realizes
Kinetic
this
has
might
the
be
chance.
short range.
Oh,
Turns the
no.
wrong
Spike
way.
planted.
Manages to get it there.
Rough timing, but he finds it. He's in a great gun hold for one more here.
He's got plenty of time left on the spike.
Indeed he does. It's going to be hard, though, once he gets into that area.
Last
He
player
gets right many
standing.
angles at once, and that's it. Hit and takes him out. One player left. It's Redskin. He can take the op. He sure does. He can't save it. He's forced to move up a little bit. He can go for the teleport if he thinks that'll help him, but he's got a whole hit here, and he doesn't use any of it. No utility. Blind peeks with the op, and Arctic takes him out.
The Vipers,
Switching sides.
That's a much-needed round for the Vipers.
yeah. Oh, look at Kinetic. We just saw a peek of the scoreboard there. I saw 23 on his KDH.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Kinetic is popping off.
How to break
Turret
20
out.
in the first round
Alarm bot out.
of the first half. Barracuda is now looking at a 7-5, not nearly as comfortable. Hopefully, this switch changes a little bit of the game as the Vipers are looking for just 2 more points to bring it to an even 7-7. And the Barracudas would love to break double digits and push this without any overtime chance.
Ready to head into the first round of the second half. They're actually playing this pretty cautious, actually waiting back here, just in case anyone decides to take a really aggressive peek.
They got a little bit of utility that didn't find anyone, so they decided to play in after it, hidden, hoping he'll find someone in the middle there. Decides to start prepping that dash, but he's not going to find anybody. They're all behind him. Ooh, and the audio cue comes out for it, though. Hidden makes the walk around. Prestige grabbing that ult orb gives away even more information and location, so the rotation's coming out from the Vipers. Right around to the back of A.
No charges.
Becomes a full team fight here. The smokes are out.
Looks like that Molly hit. Was able to get some good damage there on that Molly, but right now the Barracudas probably are going to have,
They're suppressed.
I don't know, I was going to say heal up, but they might not even have spent the credits for it in this first round.
Barracudas decide not to commit and are now looking and going through mid. Ooh, and that's the space they need to open up, taking E. A good flash on the Hidden, get some good information. They have a nice 50-50 here if they play nice and slow. Be Spicy and Risk can work together on that. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, then they bail out, and look at this, Barracudas are
30
running
seconds
right
left.
through the works.
Turret
They
out.
found a hole
Alarm
in the
bot down.
gates, and they're
Swarm
running
grenade
through.
out.
They've got all 5 people on site, some low health.
That's done.
Quick take onto Reskin, alerts the authorities and the people in the back. Elite Sim
Last
fight
player
goes to
standing.
A third even, very quick.
They're
10
gonna have
seconds
just enough
left.
time to plant.
Spike planted.
Vipers left with no chance
Oh.
of the ult. Oh, so low health, absolutely swarmed. And Elite Sim coming in for the 4th.
Yeah, those turrets can be pretty annoying in these early rounds here. Kinetic already wants to get
Ooh.
back to sniping, is already committed to the Marshall.
Yeah, this is a real force from the Barracudas. They want that next point. Like I said, pushing into double digits is a great feel, especially when you're dealing with a very momentum-based game onto the Vipers. The Vipers here now looking at a real uphill battle, as winning this one's going to be rough, and if they can't, then there's a bonus to fight. Nice
Little bit of util being exchanged. A few darts thrown out.
A very aggressive hold the Vipers have on this. In fact, they're already out of garage and making eye contact with the Barracudas. Or almost about to. No. Walking onto the back of KJ. Oh, the rotation time is just barely off and they can't find him.
It's weird that Kinetic's kind of positioned himself the where he is. He's holding a very close angle here. Despite having bots a long-ranged weapon.
Barracudas do pull through on that Viper's pinch from the back. Hopefully that alerts them that B is open. But just into A. And wow, Tractor taking one and being
Last
applied to
player
by Kinetic.
standing.
Kill's taking his third and dropped right through mid. It's so strong in that Sentinel on lurker position. Whether they're lurking or fighting the lurk, that Killjoy just does an excellent job.
Now they have almost brought themselves to double digits. Just 4 rounds away from the victory if things continue to go their way. But it does look like they're going to keep their weapons here, go for the bonus.
Turret out.
All right.
Kinetic, I don't know if he even needs a fan. He does good enough here on the Marshall.
It is a strong push right onto mid, but still nice and slow. I haven't seen very many high-energy pushes from either of these teams this round. Barracuda's really using the smoke to their advantage. Going to walk nice and slow right around it. They're putting a lot of faith in it, no one being in garden, though, considering that that's been heavily watched by the Vipers in the past by themselves. It's an interesting little wraparound, though. As, ooh, Kinetic able to spin right around and take hit in time. Rezkin still posted up in mid here.
Spike planted.
Already down. Vipers rotating there for a round. It's going to be a rough fight, though.
Nice for the alarm bot, but that's going to let them know that there's someone up in heaven, and they take him out. Ooh, just not quite making the shots he needs to. Down to 8 health.
Turret out.
Yep,
Turret
technically
destroyed.
Yeah, that turret isn't really. Oh, I might have spoken too soon, actually, man. Let's take him out. Those out of shock dart here, they're just waiting for him to drop down to 1-1. Arctic's making a show of it, tries to go for the right click on the classic, and just fails.
Oh, so close, but the timer was so low, you don't have a lot of options. You're just trying to get your 300 credits for the kill before the bomb takes you at that point.
The shots he needs. Here we can see again, this was such kind of a heroic play there. Just one headshot there with the Phantom. That's it's gonna pay off for you here, at least on this side of the stage. Having just that little bit more of a forgiven short-range spread with the Phantom.
Yeah, Arctic's been on a real tear here.
Throws the dart out, doesn't quite get anyone there, but there's still
A good concussed
You
on
should
he makes
run.
it easy for kills to
Bomb
take.
grenade,
That's a
found
lot of
them.
space to have. Arctic is going to punish this push. And collateral unintentional as someone jumps in the way. Almost takes another one or two, but his reign of terror is over and deletes 7 5 2, including him. It is battling the
Spike planted.
Flash.
turret back there. Finally makes his rounds about. Has only got one person and help from the other side to try to pinch onto the site that is locked in by 3 people. And they have that Hunter's Fury too. I'm surprised their Sova hasn't pushed out of the site to let them go in for the defuse. That's a good, good piece to leverage. Looks like Hidden Tracker maybe counting their 3 so they can pop out. But Spike is so low, they may just be looking for outros at this point.
Yeah, that indeed looks to be the strategy here, but neither team is
enough.
really kind of budging. Now they go, Barracudas move in there.
Nailed
They
it.
pick up 1,
One enemy remaining.
pick up 2. And the Spike is just going to wipe everybody out.
Sure is.
So any sort of, I mean, I guess a few credits here and there.
It's true. Yeah, interesting to take a 3v2 when the Spike has still got time and decide to just go for outros. I guess it worked out for them as Hidden was able to take one and then take a second one in the
Placing
dark.
sentry.
Beautiful eye on Sheriff. Tracker had an interesting fight here with one.
Okay, that never
went
happens
for
to
the
me
read.
when I'm using
Yeah,
the sheriff.
me neither.
It's
ridiculous.
like, oh, yeah, you just click through. Oh, yeah, the sheriff gets something from
Standing
smoke.
ahead.
I didn't know that could happen.
Across the site through smoke, just headshot. If it doesn't work on the first one, look again. A very big fan from the Barracudas
I can't even get it to hit when I'm actually aiming.
without the smoke. An interesting one-way here.
Throws out the dog.
Dog's not going to find anything in time, so no concuss on to Spicy and no information from Tracker. They're going to send out the Owl instead. Interesting that they're only now getting some people to A site. Viper's playing very lax on both sites here, kind of hoping for some kind of mid-push, or maybe looking for a retake scenario. Which
Well, they've taken out the top fragger, Kinetic.
they have. But that's not all they need. 3 people on A site and 1 hanging out in mid. Might actually practice my contact here. They sure do. Kills does take B Spicy, giving some information away. Kills is going to have to reposition if they want a chance.
Seek them out.
Hey,
Found one.
Come help them. Gotta watch out for Arctic and Eve way down the hallway, and the Seekers let them
Found
know that.
one. Healing over here.
30 seconds
A
left.
little bit of heal onto their sentinel. Start to wrap back around and are considering B. The Vipers, though, still watching A and mid. They don't want to do anything until they've actually got the catch. Here it is. It's coming in, though.
Oh, they run right into it.
Well, that's a rough one. Prestige in a great position to take someone aggressive from
10 seconds
mid-market,
left.
but it might not happen.
There they are.
Whoa!
Oh!
E, good
Spike
positioning.
down B.
Tries to rotate to a second one, but Prestige is too quick. Delete 6, falling
Last
up on
player
Hidden,
standing.
and Prestige finishing the match with Arctic.
Oh, he tries to pick.
Yeah,
Gonna be unable to save that.
it was rough.
Well, despite not actually winning that round, they did manage to take all the Vipers out, which is going to cause a bit of friction in this round, as we can see. Some of them having to settle for half shield, some judges being brought out, and an Ares.
The Vipers are in an uncomfortable position at an 11-6 to begin with. They've got to kind of take 5 rounds in a row here.
Don't give them ground.
All right, nice gentle push here, Barracudas. Don't want to be making mistakes. They want to go home.
Here.
Moving nice and slow against the ground we're familiar with.
His location revealed by the dart.
Time to hunt.
Looks like we have a confrontation brewing in Garden here. It's going to throw out the dog. Now the Hawk throws out the Molly to try to keep them at bay. The Jet jashes through into the Judge.
Flash.
An interesting
Oh,
play, a little bit aggressive
yeah.
with the flash there.
Yep.
Did a little bit of self-flash. Great timing for this. Taking Spike down,
Spike
not quite the
down, mid.
distance to be moving on.
One
to the
enemy
middle.
remaining.
Switch to the knife. Tries to find it with the... Somebody else is able to back him up, though. Arctic finishing off the game with kill strength. Sprint through the quad there. Now, 11-7, and the ult economy is high. 4 on one side, 5 on the other. We might see an absolute dump round.
Need a drop,
Lot of
thank you.
call-outs. But they may also be strategically used over the course of the next several rounds. Hopefully, Barracudas, after finding just 1 point, can really aggress with a whole lot of ultimates and clean up the match. But Vipers have this last stone wall, this last shield that is all of their ultimates. I don't think any of them want to use the ultimates casually.
Get out
They're
of my
so
way.
important right now. Sure enough, the knife's coming out from the Barracuda side. Hidden using those knives to try to clear off.
Hawk out.
It's a long-range Hawk there. Wow, Reskin with the Marshall bearing down, taking out Hidden's knives.
Now Kinetic with their knives out. Kills taking Tracker. It's an important one. Now there's nobody on A
should
site,
run.
and the water flows in. Look at them just running into that site, and those knives are sent up into the back site. Trying to watch this angle here. Be Spicy over there. Just gotta be
Spike
careful.
planted.
No, he's caught off guard. Kinetic moving right along. He knows they're here. Oh, he's in the right position, but the timing was just not quite there. Oh, again, timing not quite being there. He takes on to Kinetic. That was just the right gun and in the right place, but just wasn't quite quick enough, maybe a little bit too
Deploying
low.
drone.
He now going to send this drone out. Maybe he's learned his lesson. He's going to check underneath.
Looks like, although the ooh, throws out the turret
No.
there, quickly gets it destroyed.
That turret letting him know there's nobody else down the long hallway.
And this, yeah, they're just taking too much time
Yep.
here.
Barracuda's going to find one more.
Shot down.
Nice little outro battle, leaving a 2v1 to finish the round.
Match point.
Yeah, and well, in any case here, the Barracudas have now managed to drive it to match point, meaning the Vipers are going to have to win 5 in a row just to drive it to overtime.
Indeed they are, and
So-
that's a rough position to be in.
That would technically mean they'd have to win 7 in a row to win.
Yep. But at least getting into that deuce scenario gives them a little breath of fresh air. You know, they can start making a mistake or two once they get into that overtime.
Yeah, but now they gotta
only
do
with
it.
that power so long.
And they position themselves where they're only half buying this final round here, one of them having to settle for an Ares.
Admittedly, unless they keep winning them in like once after another, it's hard to just.
Cover going out.
You kind of have to put everything into this round. Even though
Found them.
you can't spend everything.
Enemy
Arctic
down.
should take one out on the kill.
Oh!
Not a lot of good positions for Arctic to be in here, so he keeps walking back and forth, takes quite a bit of damage. He's looking at 70 and no shield. Barracudas are just outmanning the Vipers here, and in a good feeling position. There's only 3 left on one side, and sure enough, Reskin takes the TP to the other side. Now they've got to fight through a swamp of Barracudas to
planted.
get to the spike. That's not looking great for these last 2 Vipers players.
Last
But
player
Arctic,
standing.
despite, takes one out and is replied to by Kinetic. Now
Revealing
he's
area.
the only one. A lot's banking on this. It's not looking comfortable. They know where he's coming from. He's fighting right in the face of them. That location's revealed. He's got to hang out. They're swarming him, and there it is.
Yep.
Barracuda takes it.
Attackers win.
That's what they're working on, making sure no one solo peeks there, making sure they double peek, and it ends up getting them the victory in the second semifinal of the Week 2 Valorant Rumble. So now the stage is set for this final match. It's going to be Ghost versus Barracudas in the grand finals. But before we get to that, you know, going at it alone can only get you so far. Ultimately, if you want to increase your chances of success, you have to level up your teaming skills. This is exactly what the Barracudas were doing, making sure that they were double peeking, not single peeking angles. You can really see how talented they are, and Esports Tower takes the time to create teams of well-matched teammates. Shout out to Coach Halter, and for those of you who are watching who haven't checked out Esports Tower clubs, you should. It's the fast track to rank up. Well, the Barracudas close out the Vipers and advance to the grand finals. Who will win it all between the Barracudas and Ghosts in the grand finals? We'll find out after this.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by. Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome back to this week's broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble and Valorant, broadcasting from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Welcome back to the Esports Tower Summer Rumble Week 2. We have the Grand Finals matchup to see who will claim the Week 2 title between the Ghosts and Barracudas. I'm your host, Jacob Jem Palmer, joined by Greg Old Soul Smith. All of the action for you. Now we are here for the Grand Finals. We'll see which team claims this week's championship, but before we do that, we want to take a moment to congratulate all of the Esports Tower Club members who have graduated from clubs and been offered scholarships across the country. Over the last 3 months, Esports Tower Club members have received over $1.6 million in scholarship awards. These students have not only worked hard on their in-game play, but have worked hard academically and have earned these scholarship opportunities. We could not be more excited and proud to see all the opportunities these players are getting. There you are. We can just see a quick overview of all the money that these players have gotten between all of the games in Esports Tower, and it's only gone up since then. It has. So this is cumulative numbers.
No, it always makes me so happy. This is like such a great program, such a great opportunity. I wish this was around when I was in high school. I know that we barely scraped together a high school team when I was in high school, and it would be so nice to have this like support for the programs.
Yeah, every time we do this segment, though, we all turn into, you kids these days don't realize how good you have it.
Back in my day, this was all farms.
Yep. Well, the one thing that doesn't change, though, whether it's farmland or the esports arena, is Doc's keys to the game. In Valorant, that's going to be to flank effectively, spend and peek wisely, count cards and call abilities, and click heads. Brought to you by Esports Tower. Score Pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. Right ahead into the first game of this Grand Finals. It's still a best of 3. They kick off between the Ghosts and the Barracudas to see who will claim Game 1, and it's on a stage we haven't seen in a little while, going to Breeze.
It is.
Which which if we saw how good Kinetic was on the op on Haven, I would be running scared right now if I was the Ghost.
Yeah, you really want to take your money, you cash in those easy rounds, if you will, where he doesn't have the op. Be very aggressive in those short rounds. Distance-wise, which I feel like we didn't really see. I feel like we definitely saw a difference in the points, but not in the pacing of these kind of 3 areas of the game, which is the pistol rounds, the gun rounds, and the overtime threat.
You're not just going to have to deal with those jets that are going to be opping, but no doubt we got both chambers out too. And are my eyes correct here? I actually see a Yoru.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, my. And Dallin's actually here in production. He can actually see this. Last time Yoru was picked, he wasn't here because he was out sick. For those of you who don't know, he works in the production studio. And Yoru's his favorite, and he's always saying that they should choose it. The one time they chose it, he was out sick, but now he can see it. So, no matter who wins this round, Dallin's already won for today.
Hopefully this Yoru player is a real ethos at the wheel, because we have not seen a lot of solid Yoru play. I don't think I have.
That's a good spot.
Power. But the chambers really bring a lot to the table as far as ops go. Very aggressive. Oh, lots of information, and wow, really pushing them back. He knows now they're all there. That dog got a good concuss, and the bird really pushes him back. Look at that, they can't even stay here.
And they're just going to go off toward B instead.
Unfortunately, that rotation aggressive from the defender's side. Now, our attacking team has an open side on B, and if they were quick enough and didn't go
it's-
to mid, they could have had it. But
The Ghosts are attacking right now. Barracuda is still on defense.
Cutting through.
Goes out a portal, but and manages to not to miss. Now can.
Revealing
On
area.
their way toward the point here and are going to be able to successfully get their plant. I thought they would rotate over to B. They managed to plant, and now this is a very awkward situation, especially for the Sova. He's still there over on B.
oh, and Prestige has been stuck around the same corner all
Hawk
round.
out. Blinded.
Takes one on the Moonkeeper. Hopefully he's able to find some more, but he's fighting a real uphill battle. It's coaxial right around
One
the
enemy
taking
remaining.
a good lineup, but over both.
One enemy remaining.
Taking his third and fourth before taken by Ken. LJ Ken to wrap up the round. He's going to pick his favorite gun and move out. Now it's round 2.
Get ready to head in here. That just shows how talented some of these individual players on the Barracudas are. I mean, you think, oh, it's 5-2. It should be pretty standard here, but going up against players like Prestige, it is far from a done deal.
No, a 1v1 is not a 50-50.
So now Ghosts lead this 1-0, but still a lot of game left to be played. Actually see an Ares be brought out, and man, that skin takes up so much space. But hey, you know what? Hey, if it works out for you, throws the decoy out through, not going to fall for that.
Nope. Watching mid, nice and slow. Damage on taking kills, and it's fly back and forth. It's a 2v3 now with low health on the Yoru. And that dog gets a little bit
Spike
of information.
planted.
The plant is already down, so they've got to make this ground. Now that they're expected to come from that direction, he's got to be careful about coaxial. He knows that those people off
Last player standing.
Rezkin finding his 2. Only a 1v2 left on the board. Coaxial's got a lot to juggle. Oh! If they come in one at a time, he might be able to take it, but they don't. He just can't adjust that quick, and Prestige finds him. Now it's an easy defuse for the green side, and those are looking for a 3-point.
Cheers, mate.
Does look like we'll probably have a tech pause coming out here. Guess had a bit of a
Crab walk
connection
next
issue,
time.
but
Make
great
it
job
easier
there
for ya.
by the Barracudas to tie it up 1-1. So pistol rounds aren't going to really determine how this goes either way.
No, unfortunately not.
Overall, you just kind of see there, that was just a rough situation. Just having the headhunter, it's a situation that demands you got a one-tap.
It does.
You can't, especially just for credit's sake, you can't fan the hammer with the headhunter.
It's expensive to just go ham on it. There's no, you want to wait for the recoil to die down. It's only tap firing. Definitely, you know, watch your corner. But to be paced out like that by both people, that's rough. And it's good to see them working on, very intentionally, on double peeking. And I think that intentionality is what got them that round.
Alrighty, looks like our issues have been resolved. We're back into the game here. Round 3, still tied 1-1. On we go. Gonna be in the tunnel.
Looks like we're fresh out of minimap. That's quite a right. Yeah, it does look like they're all going up the tunnel. Rezkin and taking it onto Nick. And look at them coming straight down. I'm surprised. Nice
Isn't gonna fall for
One enemy remaining.
Excellently played.
Spike down. Defender spawn.
Be it
Closing it up with his 2.
I mean, even though we don't see Yoru that much, they obviously in games off screen have seen Yoru enough to not fall for the decoy.
Which is good.
Here we're
Here.
gonna get another view here. This was just Rezkin holding things down. Yeah, I mean, that's the dead giveaway.
Yeah, it is. Excellently played. Wow. Yeah, that's kind of a gamble you take, having all 5 people go down to one spot. There's a good chance you've got a good answer ready to force it back down.
Suppressing.
Round out early. They're going to spread out a little bit more kinetic. Watching aggressive on the mid is going to be great. Finds another and kills it
Spike
back
down.
up.
B.
Oh, that is a
one.
huge investment to
Really
make this
is.
early. I mean, they've got to win right now, or else this is going to be ugly.
No, 4th round ops are a good time, and this aggressive.
Time to jump.
Will find a place
Oh, they hit the
Last player standing.
They actually fell for it there.
All set up.
done now. Red
Teleport's
kind
ready.
of Price has to back up and respect Moonkeeper's space here.
Cutting through.
And then try to take him out as his support comes in from the side. Right in the
Kills
face is
them.
not enough. Moonkeeper still finds the enemy. Rotates
I'll
out.
handle
This last
this.
one is going to be just to move a short distance.
He's out of the way. He still has the spike, and they don't even realize.
I'm
Not
back.
the sight.
Time to jump.
Throws out a portal.
This is a
30
good
seconds left.
Yoru. But they're coming up
Spike
on
planted.
his teleport, so that teleport's not going to be as valuable as he hopes. He might be able to bait them out into the center of the map, into the center of the site there, and jump behind him.
It might be, but
A nice one-person bait and switch.
they can still hear that portal if their ears are
Fake
peeled.
teleport.
True. And
Oh,
there
he
it
just
is.
does the fake teleport.
Ooh.
Waits for that.
No! Sees both of them. Can't find the collateral. So close. That's enough. Prestige, the one to finally take the last bullet onto that.
Oh, that was such a valiant effort there by that Yoru.
Don't even
Yeah,
start
excellent.
that
I'm sure.
shit here, mate.
Yeah, to be full of nice tries. The Bernie Sanders chair.
And much in the same spirit, looks like the Ghosts are gonna once again have to ask for some financial support here because they're not going to be looking too good here on their credits. They already spent all of those credits there on the op.
Yeah, which is a rough one to jump into that early in the round. We were talking about that. Like 4th round op it's a big wager. It can get you a lot of extra aggression points, but it's a lot to put on the table.
Here we go. Redskin's more than happy to take that off.
World.
Spike planted.
So Viper's pit down, trying to make some space for themselves out. Oh, Axel, though.
Ooh,
Pulls
only
out the
finds
tour de
one.
force, gets one.
That Viper's pit still standing strong with people holding in it and a Yoru behind the enemy wall.
Last player standing.
Nick, Ken walking right out at the wrong time, goes up and Prestige for the defuse, taking it to 4-1.
Gonna hand it over to the Sova. Alrighty, the Barracudas have a huge lead here, not only in just score, but gonna have it in credits. We might see a situation where we just see 2 ops be brought out since their Chamber's already gotten one. Now we might see Kinetic try to go down that same path.
Alright, it looks like, well, they might just be vibing over here by the station. I don't know if you can hear, but oh, there's
No, that was from the spray. That wasn't from. I don't think the music's playing anymore.
That works.
The promotion is over for the.
a tragedy.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like they're going to start working together here, which I'd like to see these kind of fan pushes start working as well as they were hoping earlier. Try to cut that down, not going to find it. He gets ready for the dash, but he never gets to use it. Waxel, a great reply now. 2 operators in the hand. Good reply now. It's a 4-4, but look at that. Oh! Redskin takes another one, but makes so much eye contact. Doesn't want to do that again. Starts to back right, back around. He knows they're on his tail. He's just got to watch his back here. Don't let this be a 1-4-1. Ooh, Redskin
Spike
takes
down,
another
mid.
good one. That's what you get for trying to chase Redskin. Now, the game's changed a little bit because the spike is so far in your hands. The defensive side, you either need to take everyone out or you need to kind of dive back into an uncomfortable place there in the nest. Coaxi is not in a great spot to do either and doesn't really have the equipment to get that close, so he's got to leave it to somebody else.
30 seconds left. Last player
Redskin able to
standing.
beat Coaxel at the op game.
Can trying to get close and take one out here. He's fighting.
Blinded.
Ooh, out blinded. He just can't take 2 double on like that, Reskin takes a close op to Ken.
Now, the question I have here is, did they pick up the op that Coaxel bought? No, they didn't.
Ooh.
If they had realized, they would have had 2 ops. But this does reveal something interesting about the Ghost strategy. Again, Coaxel had bought his 2nd op there. So right after round 4 buys another op. So it's like all the strategy of the Ghost for their econ is just trying to get Coaxel the op.
Yeah, just dump creds into Quaxel op.
And it's not really working out for them.
Don't get in my way.
You see how they do here on this purchase? That's an interesting,
Way to show off the skin. Oh, that's a rough one.
Time to jump.
Moonkeeper. And a bait out there. Quaxel goes down to the right. Another one has
Spike down A.
Can't take it. All 3. A rough blind.
One enemy remaining.
That's all right. Reskin
Flawless.
finding one more. And Prestige following it up with a beautiful flawless, almost no damage done. All it takes is one well-placed ult to turn the round like that. Now Barracuda looking at a 6-1 onto the Ghost. If you're the Ghost, what do you need to change about this playstyle?
well, when we're talking to the coaches, they want to see how the Ghosts play in their first game out of the week because they won the last week 2-0. And we do see Coaxel does do a good job at top fragging for his team when he's at his peak. The coaches challenged him to do that in the series, actually. So what we were seeing of just them getting the op to Coaxel, actually the coaches were behind that as well. So, you know, any suggestion I would have of maybe not putting all your eggs into one basket of Coaxel is that would go against the coaches. And, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, but Moonkeeper is right on.
Oh my.
Deletes it, taking 2 for 10 is probably worth it. And taking him out now to has this new ground to try to move into, but he's got no support to do it, so Reskin watching the right angle should be able to shut him down pretty quick.
One enemy remaining.
Most people left side, you're kinetic with a great positioning. Just right can't take it. Interesting though, I thought he had it for sure.
Oh no!
They really got
almost
it.
gets taken out.
He finds it. Yeah, they really just pulled him right out that spot. That was a good.
Get the spike from him. Just do a quick check over of the guns.
Yeah, getting side shoots one more, bringing it to a 7-1. And that ghost point was in the no gun round, right? That was the first round.
It was it was in the pistol round. You know, I said
That's a good spot.
the op was enough of a problem with the Vipers on Ascent that I knew things weren't necessarily going to get any better for the Ghosts on Breeze. There's no more music, nothing left to comfort the Ghosts.
Yeah. It's rough times out there. And why they keep peeking this too. Redskin is just getting free money off of 1 or 2 from right down that hallway.
Line's going through, and there just picks up that one. There goes Prestige. Go Axel, man, pick up one with the headhunt.
remaining.
There you go.
Crowded around from all sides, and that goes to 8-1 for the
What a
Barracudas.
quick round. Yeah. I think that the Ghosts have some good plays that are set up ahead of time, and they're trying to run these without accommodating for the playstyle of the Barracudas, and without accommodating for what the Barracudas know or are doing in their own plays. So the Ghosts keep sending one person up to face off against Redskin when Redskin has an off. They keep going. Sure enough, I think even though they are running that side,
Cutting.
coming at the ropes. Nope, they're all going to run like this. On the side, look and back, and then all the one. Don't quite go for it. Once, wanted to get through to find someone, and then run on the Black Seal, but can the Moonkeeper reply to each of the 3 against the 4? Letting the wall is up, and so is
Spike planted.
Don't count against Redskin on that off.
Redskin is getting dirty with this off. Hoping to find 2 more. He's got to move out with much speed. This man. This is a well-placed ball.
One enemy remaining.
But it's a great read from Delete.
Blinded.
Good blind is not enough to make it happen. but timing's not all he needs to get different angles. Delete Sim, finds him from the side. It's an easy D2, bringing it to a 9-1.
He's going to move in to pick up that op as well.
You failed. Now sleep.
Yeah, Rough is in right now.
Well, still haven't made it to halftime.
True. Hopefully the Ghosts can run something incredibly out of pocket, something special, something strong, to kind of turn the tables here.
I don't know, maybe they shouldn't place all the eggs in the basket of Coaxial and instead be focusing more on Moonkeeper on this Yoru.
I think
You want to play? Let's play.
Is an issue. I would send more people B or send
That
them
is
Spike
true.
B.
They've gone A a lot of times in a
Yeah.
row.
And I usually say if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
A gift.
But it is
it's not
broken.
working.
It's not broken, it's disassembled and spread out all over the floor.
Take one, but was a little low, and Quaxel moves on. Oh, look at that.
Welcome to my
Every
world.
fight right in. Already a quick plan in the smoke.
Toxin screen down.
Nick's feeling comfortable. Barracudas don't have a lot of great options here. They got to move into it. Might have a good space that options, including a teleport. Might even be able to find Elite, maybe even Prestige. Here it is.
Oh, he's not.
Not.
He's not even fighting. He's being extra sneaky.
Back off.
Finds one. Tries to do that for a second.
One enemy remaining.
Quaxel grabbing
One
the third.
enemy remaining.
He's getting their third. It's down to two of them. Who's going to take it?
He realizes he has the advantage on time.
Through. That's all he needs.
Oh, and wow! A well-placed blind there is
Last
what
round
gets it for
before
him in
the
the end.
switch.
I was telling you, the Yuri's the one making the plays.
Has potential. He's playing it well. I'll give him that. I am impressed.
Isn't that the story of Yuri throughout all of Valorant? He has potential.
He has potential.
that should be his tagline,
Yeah.
Yoru. He has potential.
Rough.
Teleport's ready.
All right, last round for the swap here. No chance to bring it to an even half, but if the Ghosts are confident in their ability to run
What kind of arithmetic were you using there? No chance to bring it to an even half.
It's true.
I wouldn't. It's going to take a lot to even it up at this point.
If the Ghosts can take this final point, use that energy to find the pistol round that we know they're at least comfortable on, and then bonus that up into the typical 2 after, they can start looking okay. But the Barracudas just have such an edge on top. Barracudas, so many mistakes left in the bank. The Barracudas can start running strange plays that the Ghosts aren't ready for.
I certainly wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, Reskin, you've got to be ready for it. Anywhere, everywhere.
Medic now moving in with the knives as well.
V hopping like you've got to. Look great. He's got one left.
Oh, he's unable to get it. Reskin using his own tour de force. Gets that back Coaxial again. It's just been all buy ops for Coaxial, but at what point do you have to realize that this isn't working?
Prestige and the rest of the gang. With that one kill, he's got 3 assists on the Quaxel. Barracuda winning. A 10.
Switching sides.
We switch sides.
Yep. The best that they could hope for is now that the Barracudas don't have Reskin on the op. Now that you could probably maybe hope for another 2 rounds, at least make it 10-4 in the best case scenario.
And they're running A again with 1 lurker.
Although this time it's the Barracudas running A, not the Ghosts.
It's true, it's true. And I guess if you just won A for 8 rounds, you're feeling good on it. But
Time to
Keeper,
jump.
what he's got the okay.
Okay, running right down the middle. Very aggressive. Not very aggressive is the Barracudas. Looks like they're all holed up here. Hopefully one of them checks the side for Ken. Looks like it might be the lead sim. They're gonna gonna send the bus, and it's well timed. They come right onto him. Now that all that information's out, we see the rotation, but it's, man, it almost feels too late now. That
Meanwhile, this next level flank that Moonkeeper's been working on, I don't know how well it's gonna work.
Down the
I do not think of Breeze when I think of 40 plays.
Yeah, there it is. Kills the end of a long, long journey by Moonkeeper. Now, Prestige trying to find one on a Nick. A little bit too loud, and Nick takes Prestige quicker. Really trying to handle this area, but man, they already know where he's at, and it's a 4v1. The timing is off, and Kilds finds him. 11-2.
Which, yeah, I was saying the pistol rounds, you know, the best you could think of is winning 2 here, but that actually goes double for the Barracudas. You could force it to a 12 without the Ghosts even having a chance to full buy at all.
Oh, that's very true.
But now it looks like they're going to go for B instead of A this time.
Yeah, now Barracudas get a buy.
You see Coaxel also bought the Vandal. Not the Vandal, excuse me, the Marshall.
Right.
They sound similar.
Okay, a nice attempt to push here, but there's a good wall right
Scanning
into
ahead.
B. They really push into that, not comfortably. Information coming out from the back. That is a lot. Lets Nick move right up. Not even worry about this dog. Yeah, you can get concussed from back there. There's nothing about that. Reskin finding one onto Ken, and Moonkeeper replying on a Reskin. It's a good 1v1, especially for the Ghost, considering he's very good. Two left now.
Gonna throw out a blind, not find anyone there.
Oh, a rough teleport. Even better than taking out the teleport, canceling on top of it. That brings it to a 2v2. Barracuda is acclimating very well. Running onto site. Oh, takes his time trying to take that job, but it's not going to be there. But gets shot off, there's nothing. Nick stacking on top of this. It's a rough angle to peek when they're vertically stacked.
They are going to be able to get the plant.
Spike planted.
Welcome to my
I'm not
world.
sure where he's going, but he's abandoned his team and is hanging out in mid.
Why are we doing such a good job here, though? They've already managed to charge up the Viper's Pit.
Yeah, Barracuda's really securing this point here by dropping kills right in the middle of it. Much miss.
One
Away
enemy
his position
remaining.
to shoot just into the smoke. Nick gets a good one to the shoulder, but ends up going down to Prestige, and it's a 12.
It's only the second round, and you have to realize there's 7
Match
ticks
point.
on the Viper's Pit, so just in 2 rounds, actually just 1 round, really, he just was able to charge that up. There's such a huge advantage for the Barracudas.
No, Kilds has been absolutely tearing through the Ghost team.
Well, at this point here, it looks like this first round is all but over. Barracudas just need to clear up 1 more as a formality.
Yeah, let's see it. Coaxel in a great position for this judge. Holding a little bit wider, hoping that they don't send the dog in. Oh, wow.
No kick.
Chance. Reskin. The dog is wasted. He's setting right up, going aggro with this headhunter. Trying to find another one outside Kinetic. Another one is facing off against 2 people. Jack right in, 1-1. Can't quite transfer over the other, but it's enough. It's all he needs. Ghost willing on one. He goes down.
Attackers
Take
win.
the third kill to bring it
It
to
has been a
13-2.
pleasure, my friends.
That's
Au
the first
revoir.
round.
Well, a very quick win there in the first match for the Barracudas. Some overall great gameplay. The Jet popped off. The Chamber absolutely destroyed. The Yoru had potential. It was just, you know, what I would have expected here. So overall, we're going to have to move on to the next round. Remember, Barracudas are going to be at match point here. So you're not going to want to miss it. We'll take a short break before we get back with Haven to close things all out and see if the Barracudas can't win the championship. We'll be back after this.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by. Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome back to this week's broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble in Valorant, broadcasting from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. The Ghosts and Barracudas head to Haven with the Barracudas on match point in the grand finals. I'm your host, Jacob Jem Palmer, joined by Greg Old Soul Smith, and now we head into Haven. The truly unique map. Every map's unique in a little bit, but Haven truly because it has those 3 points.
Yeah, you're right. Every map is a little bit unique in some sense, but when we're having issues with where to place certain people and should they keep going down the same route, how do I fan these guys out, should we like spearhead 1 point, all that is magnified at Haven. This is an interesting pull, and I think the Barracudas would have chosen it.
Well, we might just have to see how it works out. Barracudas won that last one just in 30 minutes, so it was a really short match. We'll see if they can keep up the pace in this match point here. Before we get to that, we'll remind them one more time of Doc's keys to the game in Valorant, and that's to flank effectively, spend and peek wisely, count cards and call abilities, and click heads. Brought to you by Esports Tower. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. The Barracudas are 1 game away from claiming the title. Can they knock off the Ghosts to win the title, or the Ghosts force a Game 3? We're about to jump into it right now. Ghosts need a big response after Game 1 of this series, and the coaches really want this team to try to keep up their energy in Game 2, not get too discouraged. We'll have to see what the choices going in here to Haven are. And it doesn't quite look like... Nope. They're not going to stick on the Yoru, but still a lot of interesting picks here. We got 2 Neons, a Cypher, which I always like to see.
Interesting picks indeed. I like the Breach Neon pick. That is very, very recent meta. And then we have a more classic kind of pick going with bringing back the Cypher on one side. I love the Omens being back. Seeing Omens on Haven just warms my heart. From members of watching Anomaly play on Haven in the beta. That KJ is pretty typical. You know, I prefer the Cypher on this site, but it's definitely a good call.
Those were the days.
We see the Fade and the Reyna coming out.
Back when we didn't even know if Valorant was, you know, gonna stay successful or whether it would be very popular at once and then die out. We just didn't know at that time, but certainly know now.
We've got an interesting composition here with all 3 of the Dark Horse players on one side.
Shot done.
We're just gonna be firing a little bit through the smoke there, but not going to be too much as Kinetic has already taken them out. Barracuda's on the right this time.
Kinetic is disrespectful here. Absolutely
Spike
catches
planted.
one off guard there.
One enemy remaining.
Goes in for the second while absolutely blinded. Speaking of blinded, they've got one man. Nick's just kind of stuck up there. He's just taking the throat of it.
That's the
Finally
kind of
plow
performance
right up.
where if I was playing right now and I was on the winning team, I would say the team that just won that round, I would say we're off to the races.
Yeah.
This is just, well, at a statement like that.
Oh, and Kinetic off to the races indeed. What a good pick for them. Neon and Kinetic just to have that energy to plow right to the backside and catch people rotating in before the plant even goes. And then wrapping right around for the pinch. Immediately, you can already see them going up the stairs. I love that aggression. I'd love to see it continue on. Hopefully, the other team can fight back. Sure enough, there, Kinetic goes plowing right through, not even checking the angles, just goes right in, and then people see them.
I mean, look at the confidence here.
This is ridiculous. Kinetic goes plowing in, even with shot to the shoulder, just keeps rolling.
They're not playing this like a tactical shooter. They're playing this more like Overwatch here with the way they're just charging in.
I feel like I'm watching GDQ. I think they're trying to speed run Haven.
The charity stream. Make sure to donate now. I mean, yeah, they're looking to finish the series off here on Haven. The coach says the team has a lot of confidence right now, and you can definitely see that. They've had a lot of Rumble experience, and that should help them as they try to finish off the Ghosts here.
I sure would. They're just trying to absolutely drown out the other team here.
Okay.
That goes there.
Gonna try to put out some trip wires there, although I would say it's some pretty oh!
Plowing right through. Ooh, they catch him. That's a good one. A good acclamation Ken had to Kinetic's playstyle there. Really caught him off guard. Waxo now ready to back it up. Try to find somebody who gets one.
Spike down.
Oh, it's not looking good for them. What a good reply. That's kind of got to set you off balance. They've already got one coming around the side here. He is. Abyss looking to catch one off guard. It looks like they're ready for him, though. But no, the utility was out. He was reloading the gun, trying to catch the second one, but it doesn't even matter. That was enough to make a catalyst, and now the Ghosts are looking at a 4v2 much more comfortably. They've really slowed down the pacing now. Barracudas, when slowed down, cannot play as strongly. Quaxel is going to find one more. Ooh, Prestige has got a
He's
lot
got
to
10,
look for.
10 health and a prayer.
4 opponents, yep. Oh, nice and quiet, and they're just sitting on top of the spike.
I mean, yeah, he's taken so much time here, and like you said, they're just sitting on top of that spike waiting for him to try to move here through garage. Problem is there's also a tripwire there as well. So he can't move through here without giving away his position.
Deck here. Oh, one good peek would no. He had the angle advantage. He took him without even breaking the tripwire. Now they've got to go after him. Stealing sight pulls out and they just catch him in the gut. That's a rough one.
Well, okay, we got one for the Ghosts there. It's going to be nice for them to put a little bit of the damper on the Barracudas.
A damper indeed. It looks like that's what they need to do. That is the catalyst for taking a round, is to shut down that initial big, strong push and take care of those early fraggers and first blood that are preventing the Ghosts from ever having time to reply.
They've already bought an op, though, the Barracudas.
Ooh.
They're giving it to Clids, actually, which is interesting.
Let's see what he can do with it. Prestige ready, already to make that flash come right out. Nice and strong in the beginning.
We've seen Reskin with the op, Kinetic with the op. Gonna hand it off to a third.
All the vision denial here, and as soon as he hears that cage triggered, even more. Look at just all of the utility dumping, which is good when you're living in a fast-paced round. You have to know that if the utility is not used immediately, it may not get used. So they really just dumped it in, and we're able to take that space now. Barracuda's 5 alive are able to take the site.
Shadows traveling.
Silence. Did that count? Did he pull it out? Nope, he still got it.
Blinded.
Last player
They
standing.
still have that ult if they need to use it. And now Neon's got their
Okay,
ult.
I'm just saying. I like the Ares, but that skin is just way too out of control there.
Yeah.
It's just... I get it. You want to express yourself, but I was almost questioning the first time I saw it whether this was the same gun. It's like, wait a minute. This gun is like 2 times larger now.
Barracuda's looking at a comfortable 3-1. Decide to push A this time. Let's see, move right into it with the speed and fervor that they usually do. Interesting call to send Neon through short. They've split up and searched for clues. Coaxial and Co. running, sprinting through B and through the site. A, no! Right in the face. Moonkeeper takes one and Kinetic and Kills finds their two onto the Ghost here. Barracuda's now looking at a comfortable 4v3 over the site now. No, they backed out. They've got to move all the way back up and around. They might just plant right into B.
Coaxial moving right back onto A as soon as Barracudas decide, hey, we're going to go B instead. And in fact, they're very sluggish to realize that.
Yes. The Barracuda's timing has been great. The Barracuda's timing has been fast. Yeah, now this counter rotate has got to come out as the Ghosts are looking to defend, but only 2 people. They're already swamped and they're moving into
Last player standing
scenario. And there goes both of them to Kinetic and
Wow.
Kills.
As we can see, oh man, Kinetic 9-1-1. I mean, that's what Ghosts have to be dialing right now because this is a full-fledged emergency for them. Majibus has invested in an op though.
Yeah, and hopefully
The Ion op, everyone's favorite.
hopefully they can invest in a little ult economy dump here. Just
Where are
around. Bring them down. Find anybody can fall right to the side here.
With fear.
That's a lot
You
for
should
Ken to
run.
deal with. Keep coming for a little bit of damage, but it will fail. The game is already filled.
Bring them down.
Ken throwing all the utility out there. Not going to fight very much.
One player
Catch
caught
one player,
the Killjoy.
Spike planted.
Gonna throw out the Rolling Thunder as well, just creating more space for them. And
Kinetic finding two, feeling great. Pulls out that dash. Spike is already in, but they're not really camping as hard. And then it goes down in the back by Moonkeeper. Kenzie right on top of the Spike. Can't really go for it.
One enemy
Has to take
remaining.
him out. One in the background. He finds it. Wow. Coaxial doing fantastic there. A great double peek. I didn't even think Coaxial
No button. Save the day.
They're really piling in on that. Ghost taking a great second round. This is such a fast-paced game.
yeah, I know, it feels like they're playing so fast, it doesn't necessarily feel like a 4-2 game.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, they're only separated by 2 rounds, but with the way Barracudas are playing, you'd think it would be a 6-0.
No, definitely so. There's a fine line as Barracudas are trying to sprint through this. You run into one little obstacle and you fall right on your face.
Quick feet, quick trigger.
All right, looks like a little bit of a split push here. They're going to come nice and calm on the scene. They've already got a smoke out. Kind of diverting the attention of Ken here.
Cage triggered.
Trying to look in front. They're already sending so much suppressive fire in. They catch a little bit. The information dart is going to find him as well, so they're feeling strong. Decide to send some back around to the other side, and that split push was not so. It's just a lurker hanging on a beat now with extra lurking support.
Despite that early kerfuffle, no one's been taken out. It's still 5-5.
And look at this back rotate as we send one person onto A and then have him move back to B. It looks like Ghosts aren't really sure what to expect when the things get quiet.
Kinetic gonna be moving through here, sees the tripwire.
Doesn't quite think he can limbo under it. And all the patience in the world won't find Nick when Nick is watching a different hallway. Only 40 seconds left. He might decide to shoot sprint through. They could be counting to 3 here.
And there they go. Now there goes the play. Throw out the blinding as well. It goes right on to Ken there. They mow down Coaxial.
Pushing Evelyn right out. Rescue now.
Cover going out.
Always send the blind. Start the cover. Ooh. Oh, that's a rough one in the shotty. Takes it instead.
It's technically called the Shorty, but I like the name Shoddy
Shoddy?
better. I actually like that.
Shorty.
No, I like it. The Shoddy.
The old CSGO nomenclature.
I do like I do like, this is what I was thinking of though when I was thinking about Haven. I do like for a tactical shooter, they do try to change it up a lot just with the map design. So much to the chagrin of more established, you know, tactical shooters there. No, every map has to have a mid. What are you talking about, Pine? You can't have 3 points on a stage.
I remember when it first was being discussed, they were like, whoever would plan on being, why ever? Ooh, a quick look for Kinetic, which is the style they love to see. He'll be finding another, and Kinetic rolling right in to take one more. Ready for this next one to peek around. When he gets to heaven, when they smoked it out anyways, and they're just overplaying this. The backup is coming in, but it's a little too slow. It's already a 5v2.
One enemy remaining.
Look at Kinetic still alive with just 3.
Yeah, and dumping utilities all around and what for fun? It's a fun.
Just for fun at this point.
Should we
that
celebrate or something?
I just love that comment. Who would plant on B?
Yeah.
Who would plant? It's like if you put a spot right on the doors in Dust 2, you know? That's a new 3rd spot for Dust 2. Who would plant there? No, but this is a situation now that the coaches were actually a bit concerned with the Ghosts. Is they say when the Ghosts are winning, their comms are great, but when they start losing rounds, the comms become very quiet, and the coaches say that's where things start to come apart for this team.
That's a slippery slope to be
Standing
sure.
ahead.
And I mean, we've all been there, you know, you start getting into a round and you just kind of clam up.
Yeah, you don't really want to be involved calling the shots on a losing team. Rezkin making a call on the shots, really spearheading a lot of rounds here. It takes one more to really kick things off. As the Barracudas, their strength and speed is apparent, absolutely burying into Moonkeeper there, right on B.
One
A
enemy
great
remaining.
position, but just can't hold it down, and Sim finds his second.
Spike planted.
Can't get close up Guardian, just can't quite
Oh
find
my
it.
goodness.
Too much screen time, and Fields turns right around into one. That's all he needs. Barracuda is staying strong here, find a 7-2. And I feel like the ultimates happen in waves. Like someone's like, oh, we have ultimates again, and then everyone dumps them all at once. We haven't seen these like slow-based ultimates that are used with like expert timing. It's kind of like
nothing
they go
about
in
this
for a
round has been slow-paced.
No,
every
it's true.
single round has been, you know, just charge in. And I would be almost concerned a little here because you see the Cypher picks for the Ghosts. I mean, they should be having a good play here on defense, but it's never fun playing Cypher on offense here. And so if the Ghosts are already this far behind in the first half, it's not looking good.
It's true, and I'm wondering how the Barracudas are going to take this aggressive style onto the defense. Do you think there's a switch they can turn off and play solid defense, or do you think they're going to charge in and sweep around?
Planted.
I don't know. Nothing about really. The Barracudas are the team that's charging in right now. The Ghosts, if anything, you know, always seem to be a little slow on their rotations there too, and that might just be a symptom of what the coaches were telling us of not having the best comms when they start to fall behind.
Kinetic and Moose playing so strong here. I feel like I'm watching a highlight reel every time.
Everything. The top 20 plays of the game.
Top 20 plays of the game are the 20 plays Kinetic has made.
The 20, they're just all Kinetic.
Just so much passion. It's like he's got the rainbow star from Mario. It's just an invincible run right into the heart of it every time.
I would like that. Let's just introduce that amount of RNG to the game. Just have item boxes over and just the slot machine starts up whenever you pick one.
Keeper taking out that info dart.
I'm not going to lie to you, that does sound like a very fun arcade mode. I'm saying Riot. It's...
Whoa! Whoa! That was a lot of eye contact. Ken is not quite going to find it. Now they've got an easy avenue right up into the middle there. They're going to own the site and even back off these lineups if they need to. Sure enough, setting up the... Alarm bots ahead of time. Mushfish trying to take kills here in the pocket. Not a great look because down the hallway is Prestige. Just looking into their eyes. Waxel is going to find the distance one. Another one. Not quite there. Oh, jeez. The lead Simp does find Coaxial. They could have find one on the wrist. They could slide by the Siege, staying nice and strong at the back of the site there.
Okay, so they're almost one round away from
half.
ending the half 10-2, which actually brings up the same situation we saw last round in Breeze. If you end it 10-2, that means that you can get it to 12 rounds before the other team really has a chance to even full buy at all.
That's true. But you can also see the Ghosts take a point, push it to 9-3, and it's all downhill from there.
Yeah, I know. So this is even more. It's probably even more consequential of a round just to make sure they avoid the 9-3.
Yeah.
I like that. Just, yeah.
Look at this foot.
Just fire through.
Oh, wait. With the Ghosts, they're not having it. They worked all together, and they're plowing from the other side. They're getting... Do they know that
But they don't
hasn't
even know
happened yet?
the Killjoy's back there, too.
Oh, God.
Blitz is just waiting back there for them.
She has the chance to flank the flank, and there it is. Finds one, finds the second one, ready for the third. Keeps plowing. A little bit of a dig. He sees another going in for this. And now it's all just Intimidate. Kinetic taking one on the monster. Killed, sorry, looking
One
for one
enemy
more.
remaining.
Keeper, but so does Prestige. Nick does take Kinetic, but it's not enough. There's only one player left. Low health. Absolutely kills it. And there it is.
I gotta hand it for the Ghosts. I like the change up there.
Yeah.
It's just that Clids was just thinking ahead of them too.
Switching
It was literally the meme playing out of the one person pointing the gun behind the other person, the other one, and then Clids is just on the balcony behind them all.
Excellently played, Blitz. And had miraculously the gun to do it. To just mow
I know,
them like grass.
just yeah.
No, it was a good play by the Ghost, though, to change things up when things aren't looking good. Yeah, it
looks like we might have a pause here, and might just need a pause here for the Ghosts, because they definitely need to change something here, and now they're on offense here, which, as I was saying earlier, you know, with the Cypher pick, it looks like they were more suited to defense, but that certainly didn't go their way, so...
And I'm just wondering how the Barracudas are going to rush it. Sure enough, you can't stop them. They're going to find Kinetic no problem. Kinetic just can't spearhead the matches anymore like that. He's a solo player on the defensive side. They're rushing them right out of the sight. Briskin can't quite find one. He's already got spiked down. Briskin does get Coaxial, starting to move in. 4-4 now, and low health on either side. They're looking as fantastic as they used to be. Down, they're owning the site. This is Moonkeeper's territory. A great lineup, and get some fires off, but delete Simp.
8 health.
8 health. Ooh, doesn't want to first down, but after seeing that, I don't think so. Second goes down, and Ghosts find their point. That is important for them. Yeah,
it is important because it opens up the opportunity for them to potentially have a full buy. And just as soon as we get back in, they actually want to take another timeout here, so... Yeah, hey, they said a timeout worked. Let's take it again. Yeah. Can we get a timeout before every single round here? They're saying, hey, a typical round is like 2 minutes. Can we have that extra time that we're not getting? Sure. That is true. We've just been basically playing the round extra fast here. They have really like speed run right through it, and it's not atypical. Like a 9-3 is not outrageous to see. It just feels so high paced because Kinetic is running. The last round was 13-2, and somehow this round, with at least a 3 being got, it's technically more competitive, and yet it feels faster. Yeah, it really is. Well, we're going to have to see if it can get even more competitive. The Ghosts already getting their first win in the second half. They still have a long ways to go to meet that 10 by the Barracudas, but we'll see if they can do it as we get back into the game here off of this timeout. We'll see what exactly the Ghosts were planning, if they had any special strategies, and maybe they are starting to adapt more to the Barracuda strategy, because in those last 2 rounds that we saw, they definitely are appearing to kind of match the Barracuda's speed here. Yeah, and talking about that speed, you don't really want speed to be your one carrying attribute when on defense, right? And we saw Kinetic try to run in a one-man parade and absolutely got slaughtered right there in Banana. You have got to change when you switch sides, and although we talked about the composition being more suited
towards, defense, their play style might be more suited towards attack, or at least the play style of the Barracudas being ill-suited for defense can be the hole in the wall that the Ghosts are looking for. So hopefully they can continue this flip and walk this up into closer, more competitive gameplay.
Now, all things said and done, this might actually be a timeout that also is just as important for the Barracudas as it is, because they might still have that mentality, the attack mentality, but they can now kind of adjust to be on defense now. Actually, we head right into the next match here. Already it looks like the Ghosts have planted. It's up to one member of the Barracudas. He doesn't have a lot of time here. Ooh, he goes for the defuse. He's going to probably be able to half stick.
Oh, he turns back around! So close. Oh, it was so close.
What was that?
Let's see that again.
I do need to see that again. So he does get, I was with him. Yes, he had just enough time to half stick there.
It's true. Yeah, I would have stood back up after this half.
And he does stand up. He indeed sees that it's there, but I don't know. Did the cat jump up on the mouse pad and you had to shoo it off? 'Cause that's the only thing that I would think here. Well, okay,
absolutely takes him out. I've never seen that feed so full. It's over. We spend more time waiting for the next round than the actual round lasted.
Yeah, if we took a replay, more than half the replay would be
last round.
Okay,
Wow.
So I know we were kind of saying maybe they need to adopt a different mentality now that they're on defense, but no, they're okay. No,
energy is ridiculous. And what a gamble to 5-stack one side and run into another 5-stack. And what does to then be the attacking side and do it again to put all 5 back in the back of C. Wow. It feels like the Ghosts.
They're hanging back here. They don't want to repeat.
Ooh, goodness. Okay, all right, now it's clear. Now we can get in there. Sending the wall in. Nice speed from the other side. Now killed. Facing quite a bit, decides to back off. Maybe more of a post-plant scenario instead of the 5 and delete. Simply again, his range entirely. And goes in for 2 of them and an assist from kills. Finally goes down to Nick. But what a price to pay Kinetic. Finding one more. Bringing it clean round.
I gotta say, that sound effect was really well. I know it's associated with the skin, but the sound of a bull just charging through is kind of the perfect metaphor for how this match has turned out.
Excellent play by Delete Simp. There really was the catalyst for the round. Let kills come back into the site to find one and then find his second. Kinetic was all the backup they needed to find almost a flawless round.
Alrighty, match point here.
One last strong push from the Ghost.
The fun begins.
A little bit off to the side, maybe intentional. Looks like Knockback couldn't find the information.
I know exactly where you are.
Your fear!
Might be caught by Prestige. Indeed, that's a rough one.
That's probably one of the most consequential neural thefts I've ever seen from a Cypher.
Neutralized with a good spray control, crouching after the 3rd bullet into a wallbang.
Still thinks that they're pushing through A, but the rotation is far gone on to side here. But Reskin is going to spot them out, and he might just be the one to take one.
A beautiful collateral.
Okay.
Same frame takes
Defenders,
there you go.
Right up.
We're done. Thank you for watching. Wow. It was probably one of the most unique matches I've ever seen, but the Barracudas win the Grand Championship in a very flashy fashion, so congratulations to them. Do you want to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers? Then join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights, and with our featured rumbles, recruiters are taking notice too. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. All right, now's the time where we do the ICCU player of the game. I mean, the Barracudas were with us for the whole time, so I have to think it's one of them. But, I mean, do you give it to Kinetic and Prestige for the umpteenth time? I mean,
You're right.
You know, is there anyone else in there? You know, Delete had a few good plays too, maybe.
Moon had some good ones. They were definitely the top fragger for a while there.
Yeah, Moon. Yeah, just all the Yoru plays. They find a way. You're the player of the game just for choosing Yoru at this point.
Kinetic just did so fantastic and was such a good catalyst for that last round that you at least have to respect that.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason that they keep getting it. I think Coaxial definitely had the confidence of his team and kept getting some good shots there. Got a lot of good op kills in that second game.
Yep. It's all something to consider, but we'll just have to see what the final decision is here in the player of the game. Does indeed look like, yep, it's Kinetic. For the umpteenth time, just was insane here on the first round.
What a good one.
Oh, was this the... Oh, no, that wasn't the one. But I was saying earlier there was that clutch no-scope there with the op as well. But even when he wasn't on the op, as we see here with Breeze, he was just doing work.
Nice.
Player of the game brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central's helping members achieve financial success. Kinetic is your Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. And this was, in fact, just the first round of Haven. And just, if only we had known that this was just going to set the whole stage here.
Oh, indeed. Yeah, just bringing a pace and an energy to the table that defined the match.
Well, as we prepare to close out this match, do you have any big takeaways, Old Soul?
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Accommodate to the play style of the opponent team. I think we saw it happen, and it was productive, and I think we saw it didn't happen, and it was detrimental.
Well, the Barracudas claimed the title in Week 2 as the Summer Valorant Rumble champs. A big congratulations to all the team for a fantastic Week 2 Valorant Rumble. Teams are undergoing a major change heading into next week, and it should be exciting to see how that changes up the Rumble. So make sure to tune in Mondays from 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for more Valorant Rumble action. We'll close now with the top 5 plays of the game brought to you by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join in there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. Thanks for watching us, and enjoy your top 5 plays. The tunnel.
Looks like we're fresh out of minimap. That's quite a right. Yeah, it does look like they're all going up the tunnel. Reskin on Nick. And look at them coming straight down. I'm surprised.
Isn't gonna fall for
One enemy remaining.
Excellently played.
Spike down. Defender
speed.
Prestige has been stuck around the corner all round.
Blinded.
Takes one on the Moonkeeper. He's able to find some more, but he's fighting a real uphill battle. It's Coaxial.
One enemy remaining.
A good lineup, but over both.
One enemy remaining.
Taking his third and fourth before taking 5-10.
Gotta go.
I mean, look at the confidence here.
It's ridiculous. Then it goes plowing in. Even with shot to the shoulder, just keeps rolling.
They're not playing this like a tactical shooter. They're playing this more like Overwatch here with the way they're just charging in.
I feel like I'm watching GDQ. I think they're dodging that wasted. He's setting right up, going aggro with his head, and trying to find another one by Kinetic. Is facing off against 2 people. That's right in one. Can't quite transfer the other, but it's enough. It's all he needs. Goes something on one. He goes down.
Attackers win.
One.
Time to jump.
Moonkeeper. Waxo goes down. Can't take it. All 3. A rough blind.
One enemy remaining.
That's all right.
Flawless.